What's up spreads, it's Stu from Trowel Talk here. In this video today guys, I want to talk about high suction walls, and I'm going to give you a few tips to tackle high suction walls if you're having problems with your skim drying too fast, cracking up, failing, delaminating. So there's been a few posts out on Trowel Talk community group, people asking about how do we deal with high suction walls when walls are very, very high suction. Now you can use grits. Many of you plasterers are using grits these days. I prefer to use my own primers for high suction, which I'll talk about in a minute. Grit's okay, but as far as I understand it guys, they're quite slow curing. Which often means that you're having to apply the grits either the day before or a couple of days before. They dry a lot slower than the method that I'm going to show you today. So I'm working in this old property in Earlsdon in Coventry. It's like 100 years old, and as you know I predominantly work in older houses. One of the challenges in working in older houses is the existing plaster can be extremely dry, extremely high suction. So what I do is I use a combination of PVA, SBR and cement, and that's why you can see here guys that the walls are grey in colour, because I've applied this primer, and this is how it looks when it dries, and I'll just show you a bit closer up. You can feel that it gives it almost like a gritty, almost like a fine sandpaper kind of texture once it's fully dry. Now the joy of this, the joy of this method is you can apply this, put your floor fan on, and within 20 minutes you can skim over it. But as an alternative, not only can you skim over it the same day or within a couple of hours, typically I'll put it on and then within 40 minutes or an hour I'll be mixing up. So I'll prep in the morning, have a sandwich, skimming early afternoon, sort of midday, 12:30ish. So you can do same day. But I actually applied this over a week ago before I went away. I've just been away to the Isle of Wight with the family, and I've just skimmed it today. And this is the second coat guys now, but you can see it's absolutely soaking wet. So this has been hanging around for like a week. So what it does, it completely eliminates suction, and I'm often being asked about this, what I call it a super primer. It's basically a slurry, almost like a cement slurry, but without the sand. But I'm always being asked, like, why'd you put cement in? Why don't you just roll neat SBR onto the walls? Which I do sometimes do. But I've used both methods. I've tried neat SBR, and then I've tried this. This is far more effective when you've got really, really, really high suction walls, extremely dry, old, original plaster. This is much more effective than just rolling SBR on the walls. SBR will do the job, it will stop it from cracking out, it will stop it delaminating, but it won't give you that extra time that we're looking for. Talking about extra time, that's going to be my second tip for you. So you can see I've got this stuff here as well guys. Most of you will know what this is by now. This is a plaster retarder made by eazimix. They do a half time as well. They do half time for bonding, etc. But what you also do on top of applying this slurry, so again PVA, neat, SBR and cement, mix that all together, almost like a gloopy melted ice cream type of texture, not too runny. Slap that on, and you can see where it's sort of drizzled down the wall here when I put it on, but again completely dry, and you can see there's almost like a gritty texture to it as well. So it's kind of like making your own grit. It's just a lot cheaper than buying the grits, and for me, in my opinion, more effective as well, much more effective. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. So I use the extra time as well, only in the second coat guys. First coat I'll add bonding coat, which we call that a magic mix. So I'll add a little bit of bonding coat to the first mix. The bonding coat does two things. It gives the mix a little bit of body. So working in older houses, if you've got some deviations, the walls are a bit twisted, put a bit of bonding coat in your first mix. Use your straight edge or your 1200 speed skim. Use it on end, so not using it flat, but use a speed skim blade just slightly on end when you're walling off your first coat, your first pass. And if there are any little dips and deviations in the wall, the bonding coat allows you to build out a little bit more than if it was just skim. Because as you know, if you go too heavy with the skim, it can crack. So that's why you put bonding coat in, but it also retards the mix. So it acts like a plaster retarder when you put a little bit of bonding coat in with your multi-finish. So we do that. That's combined again with this primer, this slurry coat. And then on the second coat, we'll put a little dash of extra time in on the second coat of finish. And those few little things all combined means that when you're plastering in old houses and they're extremely high suction walls, it just means you can work relaxed, stress-free. You're not chasing the plaster. You're not, against the clock, and giving yourself tennis elbow trying to trowel up. And of course, again, there's a risk of it cracking, delaminating, things like that. If you were to just use a standard PVA mixture. So that's what I do. I have done a little 30-second video on this where I actually show you how it looks, what brands I use, things like that. So if you check out my other videos, you'll see in there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that. There's loads of tips on here now, guys. I've also got a mentoring group where I help young lads who want to start their own plastering business. I help them to find work, help them to add systems into their businesses, target the jobs in their local area using Google Business Profile and other free platforms. So check out the comment section here on the video and you'll see what that's all about. There's a free guide for you there as well, which walks you through 5 or 6 necessary steps that you need to take, including registering with HMRC, getting insured, things like that. There's some good tips in there, guys. But if you want further coaching and further help, again, consider signing up to the Trowel Talk coaching and mentoring group. There's also the free community group, guys, as well, on Facebook, where I've got over 6,000 plasterers on there. Quite a thriving community for any questions and struggles that you've got, or even if you just want to share your work photos and share some of your ideas around plastering. So a safe space, a friendly group where you can go and have a bit of a chinwag about plastering, anything plastering related. So check out the links, but I hope this video has been helpful for those of you that are struggling with high suction walls. I hope to see you inside the groups and have a good day. See you on the next video. Thank you.